Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Nigeria and the Republic of Korea are partnering in maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea. The Minister of Transportation, Chibuke Rotimi Amechi, at a meeting with the first Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Korea, Choi Jong-kun, says the two countries are interested in finding ways of securing the region, notably via the Deep Blue Sea project, an initiative of the federal government aimed at tackling insecurity, which has also been commended by the Korean government.
We discussed quite a lot that has to do with maritime relationship, especially the Deep Blue project. We concluded to collaborate, and maybe we'll hear from him. He then promised some support and assistance from the government of the Republic of Korea.
The Deep Blue project, we commend and appreciate ministers and ministries' initiative and relentless implementation of the project, also because it not only increased the maritime security of Nigeria, especially in the brown water, but also it contributes to the regional security and stability to the international community.
The Korean government plans on hosting a joint commission with the Nigerian government in October 2021. Lives are being transformed thanks to the socio-economic activities being stimulated by the presence of train services in Ujewe community in Udu local government area of Delta State, which was of low geographical significance before the establishment of the railway station. Austin Edemodu reports.
A typical market day that characterizes the economic life wire of the agrarian communities in Udu local government area of Delta State. Beyond this is a growing trend of new economic activities triggered by the location of the Warri Itakpe train station within the Ujewe community. Since coming into operation, this food vendor, Stella Efe, was the first to take advantage of the business opportunities.
This terminal has really brought a great change to this community, bring development. It really helps us, the women from this community, to make money.
The ripple effects of the socio-economic benefits of the train services are also being felt by transporters too.
Most of the passengers who are coming from other states, we used to take them to their various destinations. Even the keke riders are the ones who are even testifying that what the train has been bringing here is good.
The Warri Itakpe rail services have become a preferred choice of a movie producer, Joshua Okunola, and others who have continued to share their pleasurable experiences.
First ride to this place, we actually enjoy it because it's more comfortable.
If the schedule can be more flexible, because just having two time schedules, one is 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., the other one is 2 p.m., is not good enough.
With the arrival of new coaches, the influx of passengers and movement schedules will therefore be properly handled to the satisfaction of all. Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Export Promotion Council is adding more numbers to its army of exporting small and medium enterprises by building capacity through training and retraining. The Chief Executive Officer of the Export House, Segun Awolowo, made this known while inspecting a fashion academy in Abuja. Benny Adams reports.
The Africa Continental Free Trade Area is seen as a magic wand that will enhance Africa's capacity for growth, job creation, and productivity for global competitiveness. Already a young entrepreneur, Susan Pusa, who is into bag making, is optimistic of tapping from the $3.4 trillion African market.
One of the things we learn there is perfection in everything we do. Your bags must be neat, they must be perfect, they must stand out, they must be different from any other bag anyone I've ever seen.
Susan and 19 others are beneficiaries of a humanitarian gesture of a woman whose goal is to empower the Nigerian woman and the less privileged.
They can also export their skills in bag making. They don't have to stay in Nigeria. If they have this knowledge, they can go to South Africa, they can go to Zimbabwe, and go to Ghana. It's not only bags, their character, their bookkeeping, the ICT, how to use ICT to promote your business, how to do exports.
For Segun Awolowo, Nigeria's market size allows manufacturers to increase capacity and expand into other African countries, in addition to the more than 54 countries the African Continental Free Trade Market grants access to.
Our aim in NEPC and also the National Action Committee for the AFTA is to build an army of exporters ready to take over that space.
Susan Pusa and many other entrepreneurs are gradually positioning their businesses and skills for export in the continental market. Benny Adams, NTA News.
8 economy projects, which represent a small percentage of the 1,667 projects and programs established across the country, have been virtually inaugurated by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson reports.
It appears to be one inauguration after the other, with digital economy projects situated in all 6 geopolitical zones of the country and the FCT. The minister believes the trajectory of the ministry in the last 2 years underscores the importance of creating a critical mass of skilled citizens as a prerequisite for developing a sustainable digital economy.
So far, we have 1,667 ongoing projects and centers are up to 455. If you sum them, you will discover there are more than 2,000 projects and centers. Some of them among the completed projects and the ongoing are by all standard world-class and national or even international projects.
We are going to key in 100% to the implementation of the National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy. And we have cascaded our day-to-day activities in line with the policy. Therefore, we are hoping we will do more before end of this administration.
The host communities were encouraged to ensure they take advantage of the facilities and skills for the benefit of the areas and the nation at large. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Nations which attain greatness usually take deliberate steps to address their weaknesses and create a sense of belonging, propelling ordinary citizens to take ownership of nation building. And a book which captures this quest for unity has been presented to the public. Kelvin Ewunai reports.
With this book, the conversation continues, not only on this ground, but it continues wherever this book goes.
A product of 11 years of planning, the book, Remaking Nigeria, 60 Years, 60 Voices, is a compendium of 60 essays by eminent Nigerians that examines the country's social, economic, and political situation and explore the options open to the country as well as suggest solutions to the challenges. From former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Senate President Ayim Pius Ayim, to Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, keeping Nigeria together is a priority because building a country that caters for all is achievable.
Development and nation building do not happen by themselves. They are guided by people, especially leaders, thoughtful, insightful, and visionary leaders who are willing to make sacrifices and reach compromises.
A country like the United States, forged out of a common purpose and common consent, perpetually seeks to make a more perfect union. We have no excuse to give up on the task of nation building in Nigeria.
Edited by Chido Onuma, The book is one of the contributions of the African Center for Media and Information Literacy to nation building. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
Still on nation building, the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress says the party is now stronger and more promising under the Governor Mai Mala Buni-led caretaker and extraordinary convention planning committee. This was at a maiden press briefing to highlight the activities of the Governor Mai Mala Buni-led caretaker committee held at Buhari House, the national secretariat of the APC. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
For a year and 2 months now, the All Progressives Congress has been under the leadership of a 13-member caretaker committee led by the Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni. This followed the dissolution of the Adams Oshomole-led National Working Committee by the National Executive Committee (NEC) of the APC, led by President Muhammadu Buhari. A chieftain of the APC, Patrick Obahiagbon, led staff of the Media Directorate of the APC National Secretariat to address the media on the journey so far.
Among the achievements are the planning and conduct of a nationwide APC membership registration / revalidation exercise, reconciliation of all the lingering disputes amongst members within the party, conduct of congresses at ward, local government, state levels, which is currently ongoing, constitutional amendment for the party, conduct of the National Convention, which is work in progress.
Maintaining the party's capacity to mobilize more members and win subsequent elections formed highlights of the achievement of the caretaker committee.
During the period under review, the CECPC led the party to contest in several elections and by-elections with an overall 95% success.
Party faithful have been encouraged to explore internal peace-building mechanisms to resolve issues and avoid litigations in line with the demand of the leader of the party, President Muhammadu Buhari. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Similarly, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has asked political elite to prioritize the security and economy of the nation rather than the current agitation about the 2023 general elections. The former president stated this in Abeokuta, Ogun State, while playing host to the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Prince Uche Secondus. Timothy Yusuf reports.
National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Prince Uche Secondus, accompanied by the party's National Secretary, Senator Umaru Tsauri, and some members of the National Working Committee, met with former President Olusegun Obasanjo. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo believes that while the polls are equally important, the major focus should be on the challenges facing the country and impeding its growth and development. The elder statesman decries that the country has not attained its destined position in the Committee of States and describes the current situation of the nation as not too friendly but not irredeemable, and hopeful that the country will be great again with justice and equity.
2023 is important. The 2023 is not as important as being able to package Nigeria as a wholesome peace.
PDP National Chairman Prince Uche Secondus commends the leadership quality of the former president, who is one of the founding fathers of the main opposition party. Amidst the recent disagreements within the party, the national chairman is confident that the PDP is emerging stronger ahead of the forthcoming elections.
Yes, we belong to a political party, but if we don't have a country, where will be the democracy? You can only have a peaceful country where democracy can strive.
Members of the PDP in Ogun State also met with the party's national chairman. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Police Service Commission has set up an in-house panel for an in-depth study of available documents relating to the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abba Kyari, indicted by report of the Federal Bureau of Investigation of the United States, the FBI. A statement by the Commission indicates that the panel, headed by Tijani Mohammed, Director, Department of Police Discipline in the Commission, is expected to examine the facts of the allegations as contained in the FBI indictment and also look at the extant rules as a means of keeping abreast of the matter. pending the submission of the report by the Police Investigative Panel. The report of the in-house panel is expected to assist the Commission take an informed decision when the Police Investigative Panel report is submitted to the Commission for consideration. It's time to join Adiola in our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Adiola.
Thank you, Najatu. Port regulators and security agencies are strategizing towards dismantling illegal checkpoints within the port community. This is sequel to incessant cases of extortion, which is impeding accessibility and trade facilitation. Michael Olaleye reports.
Accessing a Apapa corridor could be painstaking. Apart from contending with the ever-busy traffic, there is the worry of alleged extortion from both the security agencies and hoodlums around the corridor. Adekunle Taiwo is a victim. Despite spending weeks before getting to this point en route the ports, certain sacrifices must be made.
All this our police and the last man, the way they are doing, they will let us to say, park the motor, immediately they park the motor, they still arrest us again. Carry us to the station, collecting their money from our hand.
Although the electronic call-off system is being rejigged for efficiency, but port regulators are removing impediments that once challenged its near success. For instance, shanties have been pulled down to ease accessibility, while the minimum safety standards for trucks and articulated vehicles are being enforced to discourage wrecked vehicles from plying the ports. But a major challenge to the actualization of free flow of traffic within the corridor is that of illegal checkpoints.
Now we have decided that a team be set up to go around the Tinkan-Apapa corridor and identify where we should have roadblocks. We have pleaded with the Lagos State CP Lagos to please work with us to reduce the incidences of extortion.
While this intervention is expected to yield positive results, the Nigerian Ports Authority is worried about the increased attacks on ships at berths.
We want everybody to do their business legally. We don't want anybody to extort these truckers. We don't even want truckers to extort themselves any longer.
The mandate before regulatory agencies is harnessing avenues for increased turnover along the axis. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
The last is yet to be heard of activities of cultists in Lagos. Versus the weapons they operate with have put Lagos residents in perpetual fear. Annie Daniels reports that the Lagos State Police Command has decided to take a step to discourage the illegal ownership and use of arms and ammunition.
I'm a cultist, so they catch me to ammunition.
That was Dotun, not real name, a cultist, confessing to illegal possession of arms, which led to his arrest and parade by the Lagos State Police Command.
We don't sleep, sometimes we just hear, they start to hear gun, we don't know how they get the gun.
More than 80% of the arms scattered away during the NSAS crisis, we have recovered them during intelligence gathering. The few are still out.
Aware of the danger inherent in this, CP Hakim Odumoso says the command is granting amnesty to cultists, as many as agree to surrender their arms to the police.
In compliance with the General Police Directive, so we have issued warning to all those that unlawfully carry arms, and some of them have willingly submitted. But those who are refused to submit now, we're after them.
Lagos residents applaud this step, but we are quick to express their fear at the sincerity of the cultists and complete mopping up of arms without collaboration with the traditional rulers.
They have engaged in many things, and by giving them amnesty, it can, I don't know whether it can change their life. Everybody will just want to say, okay, because I know if I do anything bad, government will give me amnesty.
If we had probably sent people down to come and see as how bad it is, then we can equally be involved and call these boys to order, because we know them, they don't know them.
Matching words with action, Lagos residents are hopeful they can sleep with their two eyes closed. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Now, the sustained recommendations by retired public servants will continue to remain invaluable in robust policy formulations of Lagos State government in its quest to build a resilient mega city. The head of service, Hakeem Muri-Okunwola, made this known at a two-day summit of Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, which rounded off in Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the report.
It was the 8th edition of the summit that brings together retired heads of service and permanent secretaries to brainstorm and come up with useful contributions capable of proffering solutions to socioeconomic challenges in the state. This year's gathering attracted experts from various sectors of the economy with special focus on enhancing the status of Lagos as a resilient and livable megacity.
We have recommended that Lagos can lead the campaign for solar energy. We need to move towards having renewable energy that each household can actually afford.
The head of service, Hakeem Muri-Okunwola, was represented at the summit.
Without any doubt, the recommendation to assist the government to arrive at specific action-oriented policies that will provide future directions and building a resilient and livable city equipped to tackle future economic and societal challenges.
A 12-point communique covering safety, hygiene, political stability, security, and easy access to goods and services was the outcome of the summit.
When you capture all of those areas and you look at where the gaps are in them and you plug the gaps, you basically taking the whole system to the next level.
I hope that the state government will make good use of recommendations, that have been made.
The Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries offers a platform to generate ideas and initiatives for the continued growth and development of the state. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
Najatu, the baton will get back to you after this timeout.
The Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline K. Tallon, OFR KSG, heartily welcomes all delegates to the 21st Regular National Council on Women Affairs with the theme, Gender Equality, a panacea for enduring security and sustainable economic development in post-COVID-19 era. Date, 22nd to 27th August 2021. Venue, Ibom Hall, IBB Way, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Note, the technical session will be heard from 23rd to 25th August and ministerial policy session on 26th August 2021. You are all welcome. Engineer Adebiyi Olusesan Olufonshaw, FNSE, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
Admission forms into NTA Television College JOS 2021-2022 two-year National Innovation Diploma Program are on sale from 9th of August to 29th of October 2021. Candidates who wish to apply for admission must have 5 O-level credits in relevant subjects including English language and mathematics. The courses available for application include film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering technology. The admission forms can be obtained at NTA Television College or any NTA station nationwide at the cost of 7,500 Naira only. Payment for the form is through remitter platform only in favor of NTA Television College. For more inquiries, please call 0803-079-5335 or 0806-980-9807. Management Announcer.
We are StarTimes, the most affordable digital pay TV platform with the widest signal coverage.
Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Pauline Tallon, stated this in Abuja as part of preparations for the conference. Ngozi Silva Technical reports.
Gender inequality, child education, protection of the girl child, and women's participation in politics are part of the 185 issues waiting for the women to address. The issues fit into the theme of the conference, Gender Equality, Panacea for Enduring Security and Sustainable Economic Development in the Post-COVID-19 Era.
This makes our mandate not only intrinsically national, but also uniquely multisectoral at all ministerial levels and extra-ministerial agencies, including the gender segmentation of their respective administration, programs, policies, and budgets.
The August 22nd to 27th conference is indeed an August gathering that will redefine the place of the Nigerian women, the minister promised. On the sidelines, the new permanent secretary of the ministry was decorated as Women Ambassador, he for she. Ngozi Silva Technical, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has, upon the recommendation of the Education Minister Adamu, approved the reappointment of the Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, Professor Ishak Olariwaju Oloyede, and the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, NUC, Professor Abubakar Adamu Rashid. The two appointments are for a tenure of 5 years each, with effect from 1st August 2021. Also reappointed is Dr. Hamid Boboye as Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, for a second and final tenure of 4 years with effect from 1st August 2021. Recall that Mr. President had earlier approved the reappointment of Professor Ifeoma Isugu Abanihe as Registrar CEO of the National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NABTEP, for a second term of 4 years to sustain ongoing efforts at sensitizing Nigerians on the critical role of technical and vocational education, as well as business subjects in the new knowledge economy. To give further impetus to mathematics education, approval was also granted for the appointment of Professor Promise Mebine as the Director of the National Mathematical Center for an initial tenure of 5 years with effect from 17th August 2021. In an effort to improve the narrative in the fight against corporate corrupt practices in the country, public officials are being urged to carry out government businesses with transparency, accountability, and a high level of public morality. This is the thrust of discussions at a workshop organized by the Code of Conduct Bureau and the National Institute of Legislative and Democratic Studies, aimed at ensuring strict compliance to the country's Code of Conduct Guidelines for public officials. In a message, the chairman of the Bureau, Professor Muhammad Isa, says the training is to boost the level of compliance, which is still very low among public officials.
The Code of Conduct Bureau has the mandate to examine the compliance of public officers with the other codes of conduct for public officers. One of them is conflict of interest. When public officers are in the act of performing their duties, they should not allow their personal interest to conflict with their official interests.
As we are all aware, asset declaration of public officials are a powerful tool to prevent corruption, detect illicit enrichment, and conflicts of interest.
At the end of it, the normal mistake that usually happen, that is usually noticed in the form, will be avoided.
Similarly, part of measures by the Nigerian judiciary to enhance speedy dispensation of justice is the adoption of information communication technology, ICT, for court proceedings. Therefore, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has started the integration of an electronic court recording system into its magistrate courts, Olabode Arewa reports.
Some challenges identified as impediment to the quick and efficient resolution of cases in court is the slow pace of trials necessitated by manual recording of proceedings by judicial officers. This workshop for magistrates in the nation's capital is to familiarize them with the relevant tools for automated transcribing of court sittings, e-filing of cases, and research.
Today, all courts are being called upon to deliver services against a backdrop of an increasing caseload and declining budgetary allocation. This is why it is necessary for us to deploy technology that it makes services more efficient, but also it reduces the cost of doing business.
Right where the prisoners are from their correctional service, and you in your court here, do you know we can do video teleconference? Accused person, he will stand up from wherever he is. You are saying, he's saying you.
The interactive session attempts to stimulate our collective intellects in finding lasting IT solutions to issues we face daily in the discharge of our duties.
Already, some FCTI courts have commenced the full automation of their proceedings in Abuja or Labodarewa. NTA News.
Members of the academia have joined concerned individuals and groups to prevail on the legislative arm of government to reflect public views on electronic transmission of results as provided for by Section 52 of the recently passed Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2021 by the National Assembly. The Institute for Legislative Studies, University of Abuja, is the latest amongst groups seeking harmonization of the 2021 Electoral Act Amendment Bill for the enthronement of good governance. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Recently passed Electoral Act Amendment Bill of 2021 generated divergent views amongst individuals and groups in various quarters. Now, the academia is using a one-day colloquium at the instance of the Institute for Legislative Studies, University of Abuja, to draw more support for INEC to exercise its independence on deployment of digital technology in the transmission of electoral results in line with global best practices.
We're in an era of information technology. We're in the digital and globalized world. So we should actually embrace this particular electronic transmission of election results in order to maintain transparency as well as credibility in our elections.
What it means by implication is that if results are not to be transmitted electronically to the head office of INEC here, it will create room for them to manipulate the result.
Voices are louder in this hall calling for adoption of complete digital electoral process, which they believe will reduce cost, human contact and paperwork that encourage all forms of malpractices. Transportation challenges as well as violence usually experienced before, during and after elections are other areas they believe will also be checked by a digital electoral process.
Let there not be anything like voters' card. Let there not be anything like voters' paper. Let there not be anything like ballot box. All you need to do is to have a panel, come and thumbprint and go away and continue your business. The moment you thumbprint using the solar electricity generated power, then the results will automatically be transmitted.
The best thing we can do on this electoral bill is to accept this electronic voting.
You trust the process of collecting the result electronically, but transmitting that result electronically has become a bottleneck. So to me, it's hard to swallow.
Highlighting some of the amended clauses, the Clerk Senate Committee on INEC described the passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill as work in progress and expressed the confidence that when the National Assembly reconvenes, will still draft a conference committee that will harmonize all areas of concern. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now, away from civic duties to duties of another kind, thousands of people from all walks of life converged on Bauchi Emirate in Kano State to witness the wedding fatia of the son of Nigeria's president, Yusuf Muhammadu Buhari, and the Princess of Kano and Bauchi Emirate, Zara Nasiru Ado Bayero. The wedding was solemnized by the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Isa Ali Pantami. This was after the payment of 500,000 naira as bride price as dowry by the groom's representative, Malam Mamman Daura. Guests, including family and friends, congratulate the families of the couple and wish them a prosperous matrimonial life. Now, Amina is in our Kaduna Network Center with more stories.
Welcome to Kaduna. Another model to promote cohesion and mutual coexistence among diverse groups in southern Kaduna has been introduced, with 2 communities benefiting from the construction of 10 units of houses as a pilot scheme undertaken by the Nigeria Early Recovery Initiative in collaboration with the state government. Kim Gotts reports.
A commitment to peace and conflict prevention by Bido and Gwandara communities of southern Kaduna. Nigeria Early Recovery Initiative, NERI, in collaboration with Kaduna State Government and other key players, renovated and provided new houses and some facilities, including enrollment of more than 100 pupils across divides into various schools.
We achieved this by improving community security and recovery of livelihoods, and then improving the ability of vulnerable individuals and communities to represent their interests and promote peaceful resolution of conflicts.
The State Deputy Governor, Hadiza Balarabe, represented, and co-chairman Southern Kaduna Joint Peace Committee, Ahmad Yande, while applauding NERI's initiative towards restoring peace in Southern Kaduna, stressed the need for mutual trust amongst the diverse groups.
As a result of the hard work that was expended here, we were able to have a formidable reconciliation. We were able to understand ourselves. Our communities were able to forgive one another.
And by the grace of God, this society will grow with them one day as indigent and peaceful lovers of peace.
NERI, through its initiative, selected youth volunteers tasked work for peace from both communities to work in each of the locations. From Kafanchan, Kim Godds, NTA News.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps has pledged to collaborate with sister security agencies to bring an end to the security challenges bedeviling the country. This was re-echoed in Kano during a capacity-building workshop that brought together security personnel from a northwest geopolitical zone. Johanna Sahasambaro has details.
The security personnel from different agencies converge on Kano to achieve the same goal, which is promoting peaceful coexistence between the diverse ethnic and religious groups in Nigeria, with the theme promoting interagency collaboration and conflict resolution. The 6-day capacity building workshop was organized by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps with the partnership of a German government agency.
At this seminar, it is clear that we have now understood our roles and we understand how we can come together to achieve a set goal. We even learned something outside our statutory functions, our statutory responsibility. That is very good.
The paper presentation and exchange of ideas, the participants believe, will be a surest way of stemming the tide of security challenges bedeviling the country. In Kano, Johanna Sahasambaro, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Najatu in Abuja.
Thank you, Amina. The National Commission for Mass Literacy, Adult and Non-Formal Education is set to distribute 24 teaching and learning materials produced in English and other major Nigerian languages for adults and non-formal education across the 36 states of the Federation. This is to ensure that COVID-19 does not hinder the attainment of a literate society. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
There goes a discussion on improving mass literacy, adult and non-formal education in Nigeria, believed to have positive impact on nation building. The focus here is to manage literacy teaching and learning amidst the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Commission is committed to achieving the SDG Goal 4 of ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all.
Emerging issues on National Mass Literacy Campaign, hygiene, safety in schools and learning centers formed part of the discussions, with leveraging on ICT for mass education in Nigeria identified as key.
It certainly makes the armed forces, the security, better performance in whatever they are doing, and the literacy has its own economic benefits in economic growth and economic development.
The mobile phone has become the only way we can reach out to truly the mass that we are trying to educate. But for us to use the mobile phone effectively, we have to change our paradigm.
We cannot talk about hygiene and sanitation in school and beyond COVID if we don't address the hygiene and sanitation context across the country.
It is hope rising for persons living with disabilities, with modalities in place to bridge the barriers they encounter in accessing mass literacy, adult and non-formal education. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
Fatima is in our Makudi Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Over to you, Fatima.
And welcome to Makudi. Governor Samuel Otom has reacted to insinuations from some quarters that the move to privatize and commercialize moribund industries in the state is inappropriate. The governor, who called on all affluent people to take advantage of the opportunity to bid for any of the industries, said the action is in tandem with the laws. Charles Abba reports.
Recently, the Benue State government set up a committee to explore the viabilities of moribund industries in the state and make recommendations on their privatization and commercialization so as to make way for smooth governance. The governor, who said this action has attracted mixed reactions from some quarters, explained that the law guiding the process is clear.
We have not done anything wrong. The process is on. Part of it is the advertisement that went out. The second one, there will be stakeholders meeting. Benue people, industry, where these industries are, the stakeholders are there. Benue people, also traditional stakeholders, will be hosted by the Privatization Council in a town hall meeting in various places, and decisions will be taken.
He described insinuations making rounds on some media that he planned to allocate the industries to himself as untrue.
If I had any hidden agenda, I would have found another way of trying to hide something from the public. But we did advertise, I will let it public. And the law is here that is going to be followed, and nothing stopping it.
The governor also debunked the alleged comments tagging the borehole he inaugurated Nadipo as the state government's project as unfounded. He therefore called on Benue people to join hands towards building the state rather than creating tensions. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Some humanitarian workers have advocated for the continuous support for the survival, well-being and dignity of people affected by crisis, as well as for the safety and security of aid workers. The advocacy is coming as the world marks this year's International Humanitarian Day with focus on extreme weather conditions. Godwin Inaligu has details.
It is commemorated every year on August 19 to pay tribute to humanitarian workers killed and injured in the course of their work. The day is also to honor all aid and health workers who continue despite the odds to provide life-saving support and protection to the most in need. With this year's theme focusing on the human race and global action to combat climate change while standing in solidarity with vulnerable populations around the world, humanitarian workers have encouraged people to see the need to give to those affected by different forms of crisis as a show of love to humanity.
Having a robust conversation about their needs, about their desire to go back home and their desires to live a life that they are entitled to.
And as people, as human beings, we come first before any other thing. If you don't have regard for humanity, then you cannot have regard for God.
For me, it's a day we celebrate the anonymous humanitarian, because those who are known, they are celebrated every day. But then there are those who are always in the background who are doing it and people do not know.
More frequent and intense drought, storms, heat waves, rising sea levels, melting glaciers and warming oceans can directly wreak havoc on people's livelihoods and communities. As climate change worsens, dangerous weather events are becoming more frequent or severe. In Makudi, Godwin Inaligu, NTA News.
That's it from Makudi. Nationwide continues with Doris in Port Harcourt after this break.
Firstly, safety.
I will ensure that my family members and loved ones are safe.
I'll try as much as possible not to get involved.
You should call the nearest police station.
I will alert my family, my friends, my neighbors in that vicinity that this is what is happening.
Who wins the star prize of 1 million naira in the ongoing Peace Nigeria Challenge, powered by Ask Nigeria in partnership with National Council for Arts and Culture, NTAC, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, and Star Times. Unity Challenge Nigeria, stronger together.
The last 1.5 years or so since the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen massive changes in the way we do things at MPH-CDA. Working with the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, we were able to actually roll out in the first couple of weeks a massive community-based program that looked at how we could quickly mitigate the impacts of COVID-19 in the communities. So we rolled out a training that involved over 220,000 primary healthcare workers all across Nigeria. We're seeing how we've been able to now achieve pre-COVID levels in terms of the routine immunization services. That is really, really impressive, and really my heart goes out to all of the primary healthcare workers. They've done such an amazing job, along, of course, with all of the health workers that have been in the front line.
Dear compatriots, our country can be as great as we want.
Let us all commit ourselves to its greatness.
We must be willing to set aside our differences, unite and stay as one.
In our expansive landmass, human and material resources, and plurality lies our strength.
Let our challenges lead us to rediscover our common ground, and together, let's find solutions.
This will take some time, so it requires patience, tolerance, and forgiveness from every one of us.
Let all hands come on deck to protect and transform our country.
Let us unite and see each other not as adversaries, but as brothers and sisters.
Together, we can build a better Nigeria for ourselves and...
Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has signed into law 5 bills passed by the State House of Assembly. The bill will protect and promote the socio-economic well-being of Rivers people. Ogedi Nyekwe reports.
Laws are usually made to protect the general safety of the citizenry, ensure their rights against abuses by other people, organizations, and even the government. Hence, the 5 bills passed into law by the State House of Assembly is intended to further guide the authorities in the administration of the state. Chief among the bills assented to by the governor is the Value-Added Tax Law No. 4 of 2021. The law came into effect after a federal high court ruled on the 12th of August that it is wrong for the federal government through its agency, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, to collect taxes constitutionally meant for the state, such as the value-added tax and personal income tax.
Of course, we're all aware that the states have already been strangulated. Most states depend on allocation from federation accounts.
He commended members of the state legislature for passing the bills into law, saying the 36 states stands to gain more from the new development of states collecting value-added tax. Governor Wike has directed the State Internal Revenue Service to send demand notices to companies and organizations in the state in respect to the new developments. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwe, NTA News.
The new commissioner of police in Cross River States, Aminu Al-Hassan, is promising to sustain the peace and security in the state left by his predecessor, Sikiri Akande. The commissioner stated this after his familiarization visit to Governor Ben Ayade in Calabar. Paul Ibe reports.
Few days after assumption of office in Cross River State, Commissioner of Police Aminu Al-Hassan is on a maiden visit to Governor Ben Ayade, where the duo collaborates on how to sustain the peace in the state. The meeting over, the commissioner, while addressing newsmen, warns criminals to stay clear from the state.
All we do is to ensure that everybody is harnessed. There are many security stakeholders, and the aim is to harness with all of them to ensure that every citizen in the state is feeling secured. On their own, they can leave the state or choose to stay peacefully, or else we will smoke them from wherever.
The commissioner was accompanied on the visit by other senior officers in the Cross River State Police Command. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And that's our beats from here. Nationwide continues in Abuja.
Thanks for standing by. Now, beyond the general purpose of providing food security, the crop Cocoyam has a dietary impact on diabetes. This information is contained in a book titled Cocoyam, a crop of choice for nutrition and management of diabetes mellitus. Justin Bem-Onyi reports.
On a general overview, the crop cocoyam has been a neglected food over the years and has only been seen as food for the poor. Food scientists have, however, disclosed that this jettisoned food crop is an embodiment of nutrients with an array of health benefits. And this 6-chaptered literature consisting of 61 pages reflects a research linked with a growing concern over the alarming rate of diabetes mellitus and in the light of the potentials cocoyam has in ameliorating complications of the disease.
Cocoyam was an, in quotes, abandoned crop. Apart from maybe in the southeastern states where they use it as thickener for soup and some other preparations, most other parts of the country just look down on yam as not being useful.
But when you look at cocoyam, it has two types of sugar. You have the fiber type and then you have the restant starch, the restant carbohydrates. These are not easily digestible in human beings. So they slow down the rate at which sugar is being produced in the system. And that is how cocoyam can help regulate diabetes in human beings.
The starch content, you'll be surprised, which most of us that are ignorant think it is not good for diabetic.
This stimulated my interest to go into processing of cocoyam flour for food. Having been into cocoyam flour production business for years, with good experience on its processing technology, I decided to write this book titled Cocoyam, a crop of choice for nutrition.
This book highlights how cocoyam has been scientifically documented as an anti-diabetic crop. Consequently, the book has been recommended for those suffering from the disease, health sector professionals and dietitians, with the hope that the rate of diabetes mellitus in the country will be drastically reduced. Justin Bem-Onyi, NTA News.
And that report concludes Nationwide this Friday. Do remember to keep standing with the NTA against rape and rapists. I'm Najaa Atutijani. Keep observing COVID-19 protocols.